The job retention scheme, more commonly known as the furlough scheme in the United Kingdom, has supported the workers who have been affected by the coronavirus pandemic since late March of 2020. The scheme has been extended and is set to support workers until March 2021. But where did furlough come from? Furlough derives from the Dutch word verlof, which means leave of absence. At first, it was used in the military, given by a commanding officer to an officer or a soldier to be absent from service for a certain time. However, today, in the employment context, it is an offshoot of an old railroad and airline term for a period without work. Now, not to be mistaken for the American furlough system, which has been running since 2010, the term furlough had not really been heard of in the United Kingdom until the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020. Now, while the scheme has been a fairly successful solution to most people's problems, there are definitely still ways in which it could have been improved. Which makes me wonder, what could have been done instead of furlough? To answer this question, I'm going to be looking at other countries that have handled the coronavirus pandemic rather well when it comes to the economy, and is to see what they put in place to support their workforce. To start off, we have France. The government implemented something called chômage partiel, which stood for partial unemployment, which paid workers up to 70% of their gross salary, which is roughly an equivalent of 84% of the worker's net salary. They also protected people who are on a minimum wage, as well as giving them 100% of their salary. This is designed to subside the jobs of people on reduced working hours. So far, the scheme has already covered 12.2 million people. Next up is Germany. They introduced Corona-Schutzschild, which stands for Corona Shield, which meant that rules around working were relaxed in response to COVID, with medium and large businesses facing difficulties supported through entrepreneur loans. This allows employees to claim a percentage of missing pay as a result of lost working hours, which was also at an increased rate for parents. Over 10 million jobs have been covered by the scheme already. The final country we'll be looking at is Ireland. Ireland created 3 different schemes to assist those affected by the pandemic: Pandemic Unemployment Payment, Employment Wage Subsidy Scheme, and Short-Time Work Support. Pandemic Unemployment Payment is available to the employees and self-employed who have lost their jobs on or after March the 13th. The Employment Wage Subsidy Scheme allows employers who can show that they have lost trade to receive a subsidy based on the number they employ. Short-time work support is a form of job seekers' benefit intended for those who have temporarily been placed on shorter work weeks by their employers. This means that if an employee's working week has been reduced from a 5-day work pattern to a 3-day work pattern, they may receive a job seekers' benefit payment for the 2 other days. Over 50,000 have already claimed from these 3 schemes that have been put in place. So after looking at all of these countries and their approaches to tackle the impact of COVID-19 on the workforce, the 3 most beneficial schemes that these countries have put in place and that I feel the UK would benefit from implementing into our own furlough scheme are: France, giving those on minimum wage 100% of their salary, as this will support those who are already earning less to begin with. The next being Germany, and their method of allowing parents to be able to claim more money from the entrepreneur loans as they have more people to support financially at home. Finally, we have the Pandemic Unemployment Payment Scheme from Ireland, which in my eyes is vital to have at times like these to make sure that everyone is being supported, even those who are without work.